The culinary world is filled with some of the weirdest and most wonderful ingredients that this planet can offer, from the most deadly of poisonous fish to the strangest species of subterranean mushrooms. Here's the 10 deadliest foods people actually eat. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to The Supreme, and click the notification bell for more lit content. Let's get rolling. Number 10. Live octopus. For our first course, take a look at this slightly terrifying image. A young woman who appears to be wrestling for her life against the aggressive tentacles of a small octopus. Now, that's something that you may not expect, especially considering the fact that this woman had ordered the still live creature to her table at a restaurant. Yeah, this is going to take some explaining. Believe it or not, but in the South Korean city of Seoul, an appetizer known as sanakji, which roughly translate to wriggling octopus, is one of the most popular dishes in town. Although Korea is no stranger to serving raw fish as part of the course, this wriggling octopus dish takes things to a completely different level. It features a young, live octopus that's cut into incredibly small pieces and served immediately. And yes, you may have guessed, is also still moving. Incredibly, an average of 6 people die each year by choking on sanakji, with the suction cups of the octopus obviously playing havoc on people's throats. This dish comes with a warning label: chew, chew, and chew. If you think eating live octopus whole is a good idea, then you better chew your food extremely well. Number 9. Blood clams. On the topic of seafood, you may be sensing a trend here. The truth is, by its nature, seafood has disproportionately made up some of the deadliest ingredients in the culinary world, given the fact that the ocean is just straight up weird. Blood clams are no exception, and while clams are usually a delicious part of many cuisines across the planet, these ones have an incredibly high chance of killing you. Insanely popular in Chinese cuisine, blood clams are a type of clam species that get their name from the blood-red hemoglobin liquid found inside the soft tissues, native throughout the Indo-Pacific region. The danger behind blood clams comes from eating them in certain spots in Shanghai City. Exclusive to Shanghai, the style of preparation and cooking these blood clams involves only quick boiling them rather than cooking them through and eliminating any bacteria. Because of this cooking style, eating blood clams in Shanghai literally comes with a health warning for tourists, with their preparation leaving behind deadly viruses and bacteria such as hepatitis. Terrifyingly, around 15% of people that eat blood clams get infected. Although we'd recommend skipping this dish, thankfully it's been banned since the late 80s. Number 8. Monkey brains. Monkey brains. As you may imagine, not exactly an item on the menu that most people would salivate at. But for several cuisines across Asia, monkey brains are an all too deadly delicacy. In some parts of China, as well as Indonesia and Vietnam, monkey brains are eaten raw, and some urban legends even claim that they're eaten from the head of a live monkey. Whatever your thoughts on the matter, there's no doubt that this is a disgusting and cruel practice of cuisine, one which harkens back to the imperial dynasties of ancient China. The point is, whether it's raw, cooked, or even baked, eating this cruel dish can almost certainly lead to death. Monkey brains can contain an incredibly deadly illness known as Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, which there is no cure for. Coincidentally, contracting this disease will essentially turn your brain to mush and results in certain death. Karma? Possibly. Either way, it's not worth the risk of eating monkey brains. Number 7. Bullfrog. Frog legs? Yeah, sure. A whole warty toad native to southern Africa? Maybe not so much. Although eating frog's legs as an appetizer or a snack has been a staple of classic French cuisine for centuries, did you know that in some parts of the world, incredibly large bullfrogs are eaten whole after being baked in dozens of aromatic spices? In fact, baked bullfrog is actually a delicious component of many African cuisines, particularly in Namibia, where giant bullfrogs are eaten as a national specialty. Normally, bullfrogs are perfectly safe to eat, but it's the selection process of this ingredient where things get dangerous. If the bullfrog is too young and premature, there's a high chance that it will carry a toxin that leads to kidney failure, and if it's untreated, it's fatal to human beings. For some, bullfrog is worth the risk. However, we're not so sure. Number 6. Hockerel. Be glad that you can't smell this next one, because as far as some people are concerned, this Icelandic dish is among the most pungent ingredients on earth. As the national dish of Iceland, hockerel, which roughly translates to fermented shark in English, is essentially just that, consisting of a Greenland shark or other species of sleeper shark. Chunks of this fish are cured in sand and gravel and then subjected to one of the most intense fermentation processes in Scandinavian cooking. This fermented shark is hung to dry for between 4 to 5 months, where finally it contains a large amount of ammonia and gives off a bizarre and intoxicating scent. It's been described as blue cheese, but for fish. Incredibly, despite the ancient tradition behind the dish, can be incredibly poisonous in some rare cases. The species of sleeper shark doesn't have a kidney or urinary tract, so many toxic substances are prone to be filtered on the surface of the skin. For many of the people over in Iceland, it's often a risk worth taking. Number 5. Elderberries. You may be thinking, elderberries? Really? I love elderberries. Well, consider yourself lucky, because given the right circumstances, elderberries can be incredibly dangerous and debilitating to the human body. Although now we understand that eating raw and uncooked elderberries can actually be fatal in the right amount, it took society several hundred years of trial and error before realizing exactly what was going on. Given the right preparation, the elderberry is incredibly beneficial to the human body. It can strengthen the immune system, reduce the impact of the common cold, and boost vitamins A, B, and C, more so than many other fruits. However, eating them raw, though, can cause a toxic buildup of cyanide in the human body, and if left unchecked, can lead to stomach failure and even seizures. Just make sure they're cooked. Number 4. Kasu marzu. Cheese is no exception to bizarre methods of fermentation and preservation. After all, European blue cheese is essentially a rotten and moldy ingredient that is deliberately left to spoil. Whatever your taste is for blue cheese, you may think twice about kasu marzu, a Sardinian delicacy that may very well turn your stomach. Seriously, this one is kind of gross, and it's also labeled as the most dangerous cheese in the world. Made from sheep's milk, the whey of this cheese is first left out to curdle. Then it's left out in the open for several weeks so that flies can feast on it, laying their eggs on the surface of the cheese. Afterwards, the kasu marzu cheese is left in a dark hut for roughly 2 to 3 months, during which time the eggs hatch into larvae and the maggots then begin to eat the cheese from the inside out. As the maggots consume the cheese, they cause a further fermentation process which gives the kasu marzu its distinct flavor. As you may imagine, this cheese is so problematic that it's been banned from consumption and is now only available on the Italian black market. Number 3. Tiger pufferfish. You've been waiting for this one, haven't you? The tiger pufferfish may be among the most iconic of deadly foods on the planet, one that has been associated with Japanese cuisine for centuries, and one that requires the most capable of chefs to even prepare it. Known in Japanese cooking as fugu, the pufferfish possesses one of the most deadly neurotoxins on the planet, which is up to 1,200 times more poisonous than cyanide. There is enough toxin in one single pufferfish to kill 30 adult humans, which there is no known antidote. Despite that, it's a staple dish among the most prestigious of Japanese restaurants. To even prepare the dish, chefs must undergo years of rigorous training, after which they must then take an in-depth exam that allows them to legally prepare this incredibly poisonous ingredient. Insanely, the Japanese eat over 10,000 tons of fugu each year, and one restaurant has been serving the dish for over 100 years. In 2018, a Japanese supermarket sold 5 packets of the pufferfish that hadn't had its poisonous liver removed. After realizing their near-tragic mistake, the town used its massive alert system to warn its residents not to eat it. Thankfully, no one died. Number 2. Starfruit. Believe it or not, but for some people, the starfruit may be the most deadly ingredient on Earth. Originally from Asia, the fruit gets its name from its distinctive shape when it's sliced, and it's a staple ingredient in many Asian cuisines, particularly dessert. However, for people with kidney problems, the starfruit can be fatal. It can even lead to deadly neurological disorders, first beginning with incurable hiccups, then seizures, and if left untreated, death. For those with healthy kidneys, the starfruit isn't an issue. It's sweet and delicious, and your body will easily be able to filter out the otherwise problematic neurotoxins. However, this incredibly unique neurotoxin has caused many people to become seriously ill, particularly those that didn't yet realize they were suffering from kidney problems. Tragically, if left untreated, eating starfruit can result in a painful death. Number 1. Ackee. On the subject of deadly fruits, this staple of Caribbean cooking also comes with its own set of incredibly unique problems. Ackee and saltfish is a well-loved favorite among the Caribbean islands, but the distinctive fruit has also seen a worrying rise in what is known as Jamaican vomiting sickness. Those familiar with the ingredient will undoubtedly know that ackee must be eaten only when fully ripe, and the distinctive black seeds should always be discarded. However, if it's unripened or improperly prepared, the edible parts of the ackee fruit contain an otherwise toxic amount of hypoglycin A. Symptoms of the affliction can occur as early as 6 hours from consumption and include nausea, vomiting, mental exhaustion, and hypoglycemia. Tragically, for young children who have eaten unripened ackee, the result is almost always fatal. Treatment must be quick and administered within hours. Despite that, culinary knowledge and proper preparation techniques are an easy remedy for this otherwise delicious delicacy. Well, there we have the 10 deadliest foods people actually eat. Which of them did you find the most interesting? If you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to leave a thumbs up and stay tuned for our latest daily uploads. You've been watching The Supreme. See you next time.